Okay. You know how the show's called I'm Right, and how I like to brag about myself a lot, about all the things I'm right about and all that. And you know how I've been saying once or twice that Andrew Cuomo is not going to resign? About that.
And I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing. And therefore, that's what I'll do.
Well, this is awkward, isn't it? Okay, I missed one. All right, maybe we should change the name of the show for one night or something. I'll go back to being right again tomorrow. All right, let's dig into it here. Joining me now to talk about this, Curtis Houck, the managing editor of the Media Research Center. Curtis, thoughts on Cuomo?
Well, from our perspective, there's still work to be done, and you could say that the communists have already taken over. Fredo Cuomo is still there, and arguably they're a whole lot worse than that. This is the part of the movie where there's still runtime left, for the bad guys to take over to set up the next one, as you're talking about with the legislature in New York, with the way it is and the way they're going to be going, gerrymandering a number of Republicans out of Congress, and that's a whole nother thing, but it's very dangerous as well. But it's time that, people like Fredo, Chris Cuomo on CNN need to go. These Queaslings that have kind of scurried away from the deck, they need to be top of mind as well here, because this wasn't just Andrew Cuomo doing what he did. He had advisors that were doing this as well. The governor himself probably got a lot of help from Chris Cuomo in preparation for this speech. As we found out last night from the Washington Post that he's still advising his brother on this, despite being told not to. But he's on a vacation. It's totally fine. It's just like the Obama party. Everything's fine. One set of rules for us and another set of rules for them. And we're just supposed to take it lying down here. And what's great about your show is, we're gonna hit back here because we know exactly what's going on. We're not stupid. No matter what you think we are, you might think we're people who don't shower and don't have good hygiene as per the way they treated the Sturgis bike rally. But we're smart and we know what's going on here. That yes, this CNN needs to be flushed down the toilet while at the same time keeping our eyes on what's going on at the state level with the legislature and the squad basically taking over the state of New York politics.
Yeah, that reminds me, I need to get this thing dry cleaned, but that is another matter entirely. I'm going to play for you a quick media love fest, Curtis, of, basically everything you just talked about.
David, we're standing by for Governor Cuomo's press conference, his daily briefing. How would you contrast Cuomo and President Trump's handling of the crisis?
Truth versus mendacity.
Governor Cuomo out there day after day after day, everything Trump isn't. Honest, direct, brave.
Real leadership of the kind the President of the United States should have provided.
Governor Cuomo is clearly living in a totally different reality, the actual one, than the President of the United States.
Governor Cuomo has become a national leader.
For a lot of people, Andrew Cuomo has become the leader of the Democratic Party.
Maybe Trump is just a little bit mad that Governor Cuomo has become a kind of acting president.
Dealing with hardship actually makes you stronger. That's what Governor Cuomo said earlier today. That's what I'm going to go teach my kids right now at home.
Curtis, I know this is off topic. I can't hear Brian Stelter's voice without laughing. Does that make me a bad person?
No, it doesn't. And now, having listened to that, I wonder if Brian Stelter's going home to teach his kids to grab women by their backsides or grope them because he cares too much. He cares too much. I think that's Stelter's lesson to Sunny and Story Moon Stelter. Those are their actual names when they go to bed tonight. But here's the point about the media here. Cuomo has outlived his usefulness. So that's how they were able to throw him overboard. Ronan Farrow and the New Yorker have a story out about how Cuomo interfered, called the Obama White House in 2014, saying that something Pete Barrara, the U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York at the time, was looking into. He didn't like that. Why is that coming out now? Years after the Obama presidency and almost a year after the Trump presidency, it's because he's outlived his usefulness. That's exactly why. And it shows the level of Trump derangement syndrome that these people have, that you would abandon any and all facts and be able to care about more than one story at a time by trying to look into these things. There's a reason why even people like Margaret Sullivan, who wishes you and I didn't exist, are called for Cuomo to resign and said local journalists were doing great work. Well, why is that, Margaret? Why were local news reporters doing a good job like the Albany Times-Union? Yes, it's because you morons were too busy stroking his ego and stroking his back while he was stroking another part of your body. It's pretty bad what was going on here. And in the 4 months leading up to this, we found that the networks had ignored Cuomo. After the initial wave of allegations, it had gone down in April, May, and June, and I believe through July as well. So this guy outlived his usefulness, and that's the point here. Just like the story with Cori Bush and the fake family when it came to the evictions, they're willing to do anything to get these people to power. They're willing to do anything else, and they expect us to either forget about their mistakes or brush it off because the ends justify the means.
Curtis, how did this thing snowball on him so fast? Because it really did feel like a matter of 2-3 weeks ago. He was still pretty untouchable. There were whispers about all this and a probe here and probe there. And soon you got everyone from the president on down telling him to resign. How did it snowball this fast?
Well, I would agree with you, first of all, and I did think that he was going to win re-election. I did believe that. I mean, there was no way he was going to lose. He would win in a landslide. That's what Democrats do. They elect and they re-elect people like that. But I think it snowballed because, as you point out in your opening, it's Letitia James's time in the eyes of the far left Communist Party in, taken over the Democratic Party of JFK and Bill Clinton. They have decided that this is her turn. And as Joy Reid pointed out when she returned from her vacation last week, Letitia James is the adult in the room. That's who they're building up right now. So her stock is going to be going through the roof right now, and it's her time.
That is not good. Curtis, thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you very much.
Anytime, Jesse.
Like I said, we can celebrate today. Hey, go home, have a beer, celebrate. Cuomo, a very bad guy is going down. Cuomo's a bad guy. I'm not saying otherwise. But remember, this is a short-term win. Long-term, you may not enjoy it quite as much. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.